right now because my mayor is talking some bullshit as well, talking about how illegals are, or these non-citizens are the future, immigrants are the future. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you have a whole lot of citizens here who don't got jobs, who are living homeless, but you want to talk about bringing more immigrants in? Dog, damn near I think I might need to go into one of these like town halls or something and yell at these guys because it got me fucked up. But yeah, trust me, dog. If they keep talking like this all the way out and into 2026, it's going to be so easy for a win because we have all this, media. We have all this proof that, yeah, you guys don't care about American citizens, but you damn sure care about illegal gang members who are wife beaters and gang members. Oh, yeah, you love those guys. Oh, yeah, you love the gang members that beat up on American citizens. You love them so much, you'll help them sneak out the back to kind of get away from police. Like, are y'all serious? Trust me, they're not. Bro, it'd be so hard. It'd be so hard for them to gain a win on this one. Like Trump would have to F up on, I ain't gonna lie, like a proportional scale. Like, it wouldn't even make sense. Like this man would literally have to get us into a war, tank the economy, and I don't know, start kicking children at the same damn time to actually let the Dems have a leg up. They've kind of sunk themselves through the rhetoric and through their actions.
And I have been investigated more than Al Capone, more than anybody. These people are evil people, and I won. And I'll tell you what, all I want to happen is for the Department of Justice and the FBI. Pam is great and Cash is great. I think they're two great people, but they're their own people. They want to do a fantastic job. And all I want to do and all I want to ask for is that they be allowed to do their job. I'm not telling them to do anything, and I believe I have the right to do it. I'm, in theory, the top law enforcement officer as the president. We went over this once before, and it turned out I was right. But I'm not looking to use that. We have two great people, and we have many, many incredible people under them, and I just want them to do their job and do it well.
Let me ask you about something I don't think you've been asked much about, which is you've branded your own cryptocurrency. The coin's values actually surged recently after you announced that top holders would be invited to have dinner.
I don't even know that. What did it surge to?
What did it surge to?
Yeah, what's it worth? You might as well tell me because I have no idea.
Well, it surged. It surged. I will find it. Hold on one second. 5.2 or 58%. So 58%.
To what number?
That's not bad. 14.32.
What?
Dollars?
No, dollars per cryptocurrency.
Okay. $1 billion?
No.
Per number. I mean, what is the amount?
The meme coin's value hit a
Trump week. My man Trump is like, bro, what's the market amount, man? What's my market cap, bro? Like, come on. How much coins are in circulation? That's what he wants to know. He's not really concerned about the price per coin. He wants to know pretty much the market cap there.
Peak of 75.35 on January.
I think, Castro, what is the name for the pretty much what's the name for the number that they use to account for all the crypto in circulation?
19.
That doesn't mean anything.
And that's before your inauguration, and then it surged.
Look, I'm in favor of crypto.
Let me just ask you, what do you say to those who argue that when they hear that, they worry you're profiting from the presidency?
I'm not profiting from anything. All I'm doing is, I started this long before the election. I want crypto. I think crypto is important because if we don't do it, China's going to. Mm-hmm. And it's new. Mm-hmm. It's very popular. Mm-hmm. It's very hot. If you look at the market, when the market went down, that stayed much stronger than other aspects of the market. Mm-hmm. But I want crypto because a lot of people, millions of people want it. I don't know if you know that Biden went after it violently. And then before the election, he changed his tune entirely. His head of the S.E.T, everybody changed their tune. You know why? Because there were hundreds of millions of people that are participating in crypto, and they wanted to get their votes.
So you're not profiting off of the cryptocurrency?
I haven't even looked.
Okay.
As your family?
I'll tell you what, look, if I own stock in something and I do a good job and the stock market goes up, I guess I'm profiting. But who really profits is somebody like Nancy Pelosi, who uses inside information. Ooh. She worked for $175,000 a year, and that's at the high end, and she's worth $150, $200 million.
I mean, yeah, and back in the day, Nancy used to be a decent politician. I mean, she used to actually speak out against, the corporate elites. And now that she started inside trading, I mean, she's damn near working for him now. So it does suck. It does suck. But hey, 90s Pelosi was pretty much golden card of Nancy Pelosi. And that's when she was for the people. Now she's for the corporations, like the rest of them. Well, most of them.
Okay, you ought to look at Nancy Pelosi and you ought to look at some of these politicians that are stone cold crooks. I was very wealthy when I came in. Being president, I probably cost me money if you really look. In fact, I do something that no other president has done. They think maybe George Washington has done. I contribute my entire salary to the government, back to the government.
So will you contribute anything you earn from crypto back to the?
And yes, it has. Yes, it has. All right, man. Let's get a word from one of our supporters, man. Shout out my man, Big Wave Dave. How you been, bro?
Yo, brother, what's up?
Man, it's all good, man. So what you think about the conversation so far?
Yo, fucking like this bitch is so fucking dumb. I don't understand why Trump keeps doing interviews with her. Like, okay, yeah, she brings up the hard topics, I guess you could say, and I say that in quotations, but like honestly, stop.
Like, to be honest, I think he's just trying to expose the media still. He's trying to pretty much show the public, like, nah, these guys ain't changing. And he showed it with ABC how they are. And even with Meet the Press, they do ask, well, disingenuous questions, or they don't kind of like mix it up. You know, you ask your praise questions, then you ask your attack questions. Like, you can go ahead and give my man his kudos, and then then a couple questions down, you go ahead and attack him. Like, we're not saying give my man a sweetheart interview, but we are saying be fair about your questioning. Because
Yeah, dude, this bitch is not
like
fair and never has been.
Exactly. It's like a doomsday scenario with each question. It's like, bro, like, do you think do you think that the economy is going to go into a recession? Like, lady, why would I say yes?
Her dumbass
view?
Yeah, Set. Honestly, her dumbass questions like, "Oh, well, are you or your family profiting off this?" And then when he switched to like, "Oh, well, you know, what about Nancy Pelosi and the insider trading?" Like, nobody wants to fucking talk about that, and nobody cares. It's all Orange Man bad, and it fucking irritates the fuck out of me.
And it was insulting because I'm just like, all right, so you want to try to accuse him of inside trading, but we got like, bro, we got a very bad character on the Democratic side called Nancy Pelosi, and y'all haven't brought her up not once. It's like It's almost a running joke. Everybody knows that Nancy's caught up in inside trading.
Yo, speaking of her though, did you ever play that video of her saying with her smear campaign?
Oh yeah, the smear, the strategy of the smear, pretty much trying to get ahead of the media.
Democrat strategy,
get ahead of the media to create false narratives before these guys can even catch on to it.
Yeah, just blame them, and then when the media says it, then everybody believes it's true, and we push that. Like, are you fucking serious?
I mean, it's used for politicians and celebrities alike.
Yep.
Man, it's tough. It's tough. But all right, David, you want to hang out in the background for a little bit as I let the video run?
Yeah, I'll be here for a few. I do need to go to bed soon, but I'll hang out for a little bit.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. All right, man. We're going to keep it going on this one. All right, let's go.
The government, if that happens.
I never thought of that. I mean, should I contribute all of my real estate that I've owned for many years if it goes up a little bit because I'm president and doing a good job? I don't think so.
Okay.
But I've done something that surprisingly, they say nobody else has done, no other president has done. And it's a substantial set.
And guys, don't confuse what me and Dave said. We did not say that there was inside trading going on Trump's side. Actually, it's not verified. But I mean, there's literally Pelosi tracking apps out there that tells you the trades that Pelosi is making. And ironically, people are making money on those trades. So yeah, we didn't say that there was any inside trading going on. And neither did Trump. So I don't even know why y'all coming off with that. And here's the thing. You guys always want to try to flip this argument around, pretty much trying to say, well, why don't you want to talk about it when it's on y'all side? Bro, we just spent an entire time under Biden pretty much talking to y'all about this inside trading. You ignored it. You call us liars. And then when the Dems want to bring up inside trading, now you guys want to be like, whoa, why you guys want to bring this up? You only want to bring it up when them doing it. Why don't you bring it up when y'all do it? Bro, there's no confirmation that a Republican's doing it. Well, my bad, not a Republican, because you never know. But there's no confirmation that Trump's doing it. But there is confirmation that Nancy's doing it. So let's just leave party out of it and let's just talk about the names here.
So it's like $500,000 a year or $550,000 a year, 4 years, a couple of $1 million. I gave it.
And shout out to Michelle Glass. Appreciate the support, sis. They hate the American public and feel entitled. I'm telling you. Actually, man, they're trying to give these non-citizens an entitled attitude. I mean, bro, this man Garcia was shocked. The man Garcia was shocked when he went to El Salvador. He was like, what am I doing here? I thought I was going to get a bunch of chances. They locked me up 6 times. Why am I here? The man was literally shocked. That's the, like, we gave these guys an entitled attitude. What's up?
Oh, I'm still here. All right.
Yeah.
I was just being silent, but I didn't realize you still had me on here. Yo, anybody talking about freaking Nancy Pelosi and all that nonsense, like they need to shut the fuck up.
It's like, for real. It's like, it's crazy how the Dems always want us to call out our side, but they did not call their side not one time when they was in power. That's the insulting part. Is like, and I get your argument, because trust me, I would call out Trump if I figured out he was inside trading. But who are you to tell me to do so when you wasn't even calling out your own? That's where you guys effed up at.
They never call out their own. It's all, again, Orange Man bad, and anything he does is wrong. But when they do it, it's fine, and it's all well and good. Just like shit. I think we might have discussed this, like even Nancy Pelosi talking about illegal immigrants. Did you play that video from her back in the day?
What, the illegals? Oh yeah, it was like a mashup of Nancy Pelosi, and I think it was Biden and them talking about how the border needs to be shut down, and immigrants
a bunch of them.
Her and Obama.
Yeah, a bunch of them. All the Democrats said it, and when they say it, it's fine. But as soon as Trump says it,
it's racism.
Yeah, it's racism, xenophobic, blah, 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 this and that. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me at this point.
God damn. Shout out Dave. He brings the heat every time. All right, guys, let's keep it going.
To the government last time, I never got a story saying I gave it. Nobody cared if I gave it. I guarantee if I didn't give it, there'd be a big story. But no other president, they say, with the possible exception of George Washington, and they haven't been able to find those records. And we've had wealthy presidents before, but no other president has contributed the salary. And they told me before this that you will probably be asking me whether or not I'm going to contribute my salary again, but you haven't asked that.
Are you going to?
Yes.
You are. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I appreciate we just made news there. Let's talk about foreign policy, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You just signed a minerals deal with Ukraine. It's a sign.
Speaking of taxes, guess how much I owe in taxes this year?
Like what?
You know, they say that people aren't paying their fair share. Like, I'm like middle class, right?
Yeah.
Guess how much I owe?
I would say, middle class. Like what, 3,000?
34.
Whoa, bro, whoa. 3,400? 1,000?
Mm-hmm.
Dave, hold on, G. I don't think you middle class anymore if you racking it up like that, G.
No, taxes are fucked up now. Like, when Trump was in office, I was getting returns. Was it last year? I think I owed like $6,000 to federal and like $2,000 to state. And this year, because Trump's like tax shit hasn't gone into effect. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm gonna take it to a CPA and have them like deal with it, but I went through TurboTax and it told me I owed $34,000.
Yeah, hell no, dog. I don't even. God damn. If I'd have seen that, I'd have been like, dog, I better be making close to like, bro. like 300K or something. Like if y'all just gonna hit me like that.
Not even close to what I brought in. Even selling stocks, and what's fucked up is, you know, I sold stocks for a loss, and
Yeah,
that's
you should
supposed to
report
help you, right?
Yeah.
But no, I don't know, like if something got put through, like with Biden, like trying to tax unrealized gains and stuff like that.
Well, the
I don't
tax
know what
bill, man, who knows? But shoot. I don't know. We're going to see when it gets later on into that big, beautiful bill with the tax cuts and everything. We're going to see what's going on there because it does sound like some things aren't really, in order yet. And obviously, like I said, because the Dems are kind of pulling teeth right now over, who's getting tax cuts and who's not, which makes you wonder, like, what's really going on with the debates of the bill and who's getting tax cuts and how much tax cuts and what are these guys disagreeing about? Because sometimes I really want to know, because I want to know, like, how petty are you guys being? Like, oh, you're holding up the American people over this? Or is it actually something that I could agree with and be like, okay, yeah, you guys do need to fight this?
First of all, taxes are fucking legal theft. Like,
true.
Think about it,
If you
right?
ask
So,
a dem, but hey, man,
just,
bro, if you ask a dem, you're evading taxes, Dave. You sound like a tax evader.
yeah, fuck off. Don't care. Anyway, look, yeah, right. Your employer gets paid by the person you're doing the job for, right? So the employer gets taxed, and then when that money changes hands to you, when you get paid, you get taxed.
Yep. Payroll tax.
It's like every time money changes hands in this country, like you're taxed on it. Like, why?
That's how they make their money, man. Hey, that's how they got to get to that $6.8 trillion budget. It's like, they do it somehow, some way.
Oh, they do it that way. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it really is. Like
why is it if I hand somebody $500+, they get taxed on that? Like, no.
And it's funny. I always do make the point, like the Democrats, they kind of want things both ways. They want to be able to raise wages, but while also taxing the rich or getting a whole lot of taxable income. And you guys got to give on one. You got to give on something. Is either you take less taxes so the rich can pay wages better, or you just tax the rich more and wages can just stay the same. And you guys can't complain about that.
Oh, bro, did you cover the fact that all the Democrats voted against
human
no tax on overtime, no tax on tips?
Really?
They did.
Oh, yeah,
every single one.
Bro, oh, no. I remember in what I was reading was in California, these guys voted against making human trafficking a felony.
Yo.
Dems. I was like, bro, just throw away the whole fucking state, man. Just throw away the whole damn state. Y'all won't make human trafficking a federal crime.
I was born in California. That shit can drop into the fucking ocean. Just saying.
Bro, I say just throw I don't know, 60% of the country away, bro. It's over for them. It's over. If y'all can't just come down to common sense like that, bro, I don't know what's going on. The Dems, too. The Dems voted it down. The Democrats. So it's like, bro, somebody need to pull these guys to the side and check their bank accounts, because that's very disturbing that you're voting to not make human trafficking a felony. That's a very scary thing that you voted no on. And I would love to know what you're involved in.
Yeah, look, again, these dumbasses vote no on shit that everyday Americans would vote yes on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But y'all keep voting them in, you fucking idiots.
All right, though. Let's try to finish out this video, man.
All right.
All right, appreciate you.
It seems that the United States is invested in Ukraine's future. The Secretary of State told me this is a very critical week. Are you any closer to reaching a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia?
I hope so.
How would you characterize
I do believe we're closer with one party and maybe not as close with the other, but we'll have to see. I'd like to not say which one we're closer to, but we did do a deal for the American people that was good. We were able to get rare earth. The Europeans are getting paid back. They have a loan. We didn't. Biden just gave them $350 billion. He has no idea where the money is, what happened. And at least we'll, in one form or another, get I don't feel so foolish. And remember this is Biden's war. This was a war that was never going to happen if I were president. This is a horrible.
Hey, man, shout out to my man Fox Chase. I mean, this is one of his favorite sayings. A fine is for doing something wrong. A tax is for doing something right. Ain't that the truth?
Horrible war. And I get to
I mean, hold on, man. Then there's facts. Those are facts.
see shots of soldiers through, satellite that are so terrible. 5,000 soldiers are being, look, 5,000 soldiers a week on average are dying. They're not American soldiers, but I want to solve the problem. They're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers. And if I can save 5,000 souls, I just love doing it.
How long do you give both countries before you're going to walk away?
Well, there'll be a time when I will say, okay,
I mean,
keep going.
We can't walk away from Ukraine. It's like, well, we got a minerals deal with them, man. There is no walking away from Ukraine. I think we're kind of locked in with them. It's pretty much saying like, yo, Trump, are you willing to walk away from the minerals deal, leave all that behind if Russia and Ukraine just can't figure things out and they're just about to go to war regardless? He just might say, you know what, I'll back off and y'all just tell me who the winner is and I'll deal with that guy, which would honestly be a pretty reasonable stance because it would also show the world how much Ukraine actually needed some assistance and how you guys, the Dems, were supporting these guys to be thrown into a meat grinder for, I guess their satisfaction of going against Putin. Y'all not fighting the war, but y'all want these Ukrainians to keep dying and fighting the war because why? You guys hate Putin? Yeah, grow up.
And keep being stupid.
When does that come? Are you close to it?
Sometimes I get close to it and then positive things happen. Okay. So I hope it gets done.
Your close ally, Senator Lindsey Graham, has a sanctions bill against Russia. If you get to that point, Mr. President, where you're prepared to walk away, will you sign that sanctions bill?
Well, it depends on whether or not Russia is behaving toward.
Here's the thing. Putting a sanction on Russia that we already have is not going to do shit to Russia. Russia has found a way to survive with sanctions, and they've honestly been able to do decently well. So us pretty much adding a threat of a sanction on Russia, bro, Russia's looking at us like, you've already done that. Okay, guys, come up with something new. Like, unless you guys are willing to put boots on the ground, which we know y'all won't do, then we might want to just hush up about these sanctions because it's not really doing nothing to Russia. Like, they've been had sanctions on them. So adding more is what's that honestly going to do to them?
Coming to a peace. We want a peace deal. We want Russia and Ukraine to agree to a deal. Mm-hmm. We think we're fairly close and we're going to save a lot of people from being killed. We save a lot of money too, because we're spending money like, Europe is spending a third of the money that we're spending. And it's more important for Europe than it is for us. Biden had no control. He just sent money over there willy-nilly. Nobody had any idea what was happening, why they were doing it, why they were sending it. And it was massive amounts of money.
So you think you're close to a deal? What will Russia have to give up? Because Ukraine, there's been discussions they will have to give up some of the land.
Russia will have to give up all of Ukraine because that's what they want.
All of Ukraine, meaning they wouldn't keep any of the land that they've claimed?
Russia would have to give up all of Ukraine because what Russia wants is all of Ukraine. And if I didn't get involved, they would be fighting right now for all of Ukraine. Russia doesn't want the strip that they have now. Russia wants all of Ukraine. And if it weren't me, they would keep going. Do you know that the European Union leaders have asked me to call Putin so many times because he doesn't return their phone call?
You posted on social media he might be tapping you along.
Might be.
Did you misread
But you might
him?
be tapping me along too when you tell me how nice an interview this is going to be. I'm used to being tapped along.
Did you in any way misread Vladimir Putin?
Did I what?
Misread him, now that you're saying that?
I'll tell you about that in a month from now or 2 weeks from now. I have no idea. I can tell you this. His ambition was stopped to a large extent when he saw that it was me.
You know what I'm starting to notice? They really do act like Trump and Putin are like best buddies. Like, come on, bro. Don't you know what he's thinking and all that good stuff? And Trump's looking at him like, no. Who knows what this man is thinking? It's like, all I know is that, yes, this man would benefit a lot from taking out Ukraine. But the only reason he's stopping is to have a decent relationship with America. And we're still hoping, we're just praying that he gives a fuck about that still. That's the gamble with Ukraine right now. we're hoping that Russia still gives a fuck about being cool with the U.S. That's really what it is. And if they take all of Ukraine and then somehow still work with us, I'm gonna be honest with you, then it wouldn't really matter. But if they take Ukraine and block us off from it, then I'm gonna be real with you. Then yeah, there's a problem that honestly we're not willing to go to war about.
That was now leading the charge because he wasn't dealing with anybody in Europe. He wasn't calling him back.
Shoot.
Do you know that I asked him? I said,
My bad. Hold on, man. I gotta show this to y'all real quick because my man Foley, man. Shout out my man Foley. This man, you crazy. You crazy. Shout out, man. I believe this is Fox Chase. Bro, who gave you AI? Who gave Foley AI, bro? Who gave this man Foley AI? Bro, somebody take away Foley's AI subscription right the hell now. Take it away right now.
did Biden ever call you in 3 years? Did Biden ever call? He said he never called. You know, Biden didn't call him one time. And all these thousands of soldiers, hundreds, millions of soldiers are dying. And people, not only soldiers, people dying in the cities and the towns, and the whole heritage of that country is being blown apart. I mean, the country's heritage is being blown apart. You know, the steeples, those beautiful spires that you see, you know, the most beautiful in the world? Almost 95% of them are laying in smithereens, all broken up and so sad, laying all over the ground because they were shot. It's really a bad situation. And he didn't get one phone call from Biden. The war would have never started. And by the way, for 4 years, it didn't start.
I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, but one more. This man Foley, bro, he did it with Fox Chase and Dave. He got you too, Dave. Who gave this man AI? Somebody take this man's AI away, please. Like, somebody take Sora away from this man because he's being reckless. Like, cancel this man's subscription ASAP.
I was there for 4 years. It was the apple of his eye. This was the apple of Putin's eye. There was no chance he would have gone in.
What's the red line for you? At what point do you say, that's it, we're walking away?
Well, you'll know. I mean, there'll be a time when I may say that. And if I do,
not
there may be something I can't, maybe it's not possible to do. There's tremendous hatred, just so you understand.
Both sides.
Kristen, we're talking tremendous hatred between these two men and between, you know, some of the soldiers, frankly, between the generals. They've been fighting hard for 3 years. I think we have a very good chance of doing it.
Very quickly, if you do walk away, would that mean that you would pull military and intelligence?
I don't want to say that
sharing?
now. It's too early to say that. I don't want to get into that argument.
Let's move on to Canada. You have long talked about making Canada the 51st state. There's obviously a new Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, who you spoke to after his victory. He says that you didn't talk to him in that call about making Canada a 51st state.
No, he called me. He was very nice, and I congratulated him. He had a victory. It's a very close victory. It's you know, there's no majority or anything, so that's going to make things a little bit difficult, I think, for him to run. But he nevertheless had a victory, and he's a very nice man, I think.
Do you plan to talk to him about making Canada a 51st state?
He wants to come and see me. He's going to come this week or next week.
So will you talk to him about making Canada a 51st state, annexing Canada?
I'll always talk about that. You know why? We subsidize Canada to the tune of $200 billion a year. We don't need that.
Now, let me correct Trump on this, because when you say subsidize, it doesn't mean giving government like money. It means we voluntarily give these guys $2 billion in business, you know, through our cars and all that good stuff. So yes, we voluntarily give these guys business. So not really subsidizing them, but in a way we do let these guys handle some of our business that we could do ourselves. Like we let these guys supply us with lumber that we do have ourselves. We let them supply us with energy that we do have ourselves. So it really, like I said, we kind of voluntarily give them this business so they can have a little money in their pocket. I know it's like we're pretty much like the dad who's letting their son work at the shop with him. That's pretty much America right now. Like we're Big Daddy America letting our little son Canada, you know, come work in the shop for a couple days. But we can easily get somebody else in the shop easily. So Canada, don't get comfortable.
Their cars. In fact, we don't want their cars. We don't need their energy. We don't even want their energy. We have more than they do. We don't want their lumber. We have great lumber. All I have to do is free it up from the environmental lunatics. We don't need anything that they have. We're giving them. I asked Mr. Trudeau, who I call Governor Trudeau. I said, you know, not Prime Minister, Governor. I said, Governor Trudeau, could I ask you one question? Why are we giving you $200 billion? Why are we subsidizing Canada? If Canada was a state, it wouldn't cost us. It would be great. It would be such a great, it would be a cherished state. And if you look at our map, if you look at the geography, I'm a real estate guy at heart. When I look down at that, without that artificial line that was drawn with a ruler many years ago, it was just an artificial line, goes straight across. You don't even realize what a beautiful country it would be. It would be great. But I don't think the American public wants me to pay $200 billion a year to subsidize Canada. Again, remember this.
Yeah.
We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything. We do very little business with Canada. They do all of their business practically with us. They need us. We don't need them.
You and I talked, and I asked you if you would rule out military force to take Greenland, and you said no, you don't rule out anything. Would you rule out military force to take Canada?
Well, I think we're not going to ever get to that point. It could happen. Something could happen with Greenland. I'll be honest. We need that for national and international security.
But not with
I think
Canada?
It's highly unlikely. I don't see it with Canada. I just don't see it. I have to be honest with you.
Okay, but you don't rule it out for Greenland.
And by the way, Canada, they spend less money on military than practically any nation in the world. They pay NATO less than any nation. They think we're subsidized. They think we are going to protect them. And really, we are. But the truth is, they don't carry their full share, and it's unfair to the United States and our taxpayers.
But you are not ruling out.
I'm sorry, I gotta grill somebody in the chat because you're not gonna talk like that without me exposing you first. Team, you talk about celebrity drama, brother. Stay in your lane. You don't talk about no politics, and you have videos of Ice Spice and Drewski. G, you're stay in your lane, my man. It doesn't really sound like you're the guy who should be talking about politics when you're out here covering Drewski and Ice Spice, my friend. Why don't you stick to your low IQ content?
Military force to take
grill you on
Greenland.
that.
I don't rule it out. I don't say I'm going to do it, but I don't rule out anything. No, not there. We need that. We need Greenland very badly. Greenland is a very small amount of people, which we'll take care of and we'll cherish them and all of that. But we need that for international security. Do you know we have Russian boats and we have Chinese boats, gunships all over the place, aircraft carriers, gunships, going up and down the coast of Greenland. We need that to be protected. Internationally, we need it.
So you are willing to send U.S. troops to claim a sovereign territory?
I didn't say that. You asked me a question. Would you? Is there a circumstance?
Hold on, sis. Now, you asked a question, but the way you got to that answer, I got to rewind it. Like, hold on, how'd you get to that?
We are. But the truth is, they don't carry their full share, and it's unfair to the United States and our taxpayers.
But you are not ruling out military force to take Greenland.
I don't rule it out. I don't say I'm going to do it, but I don't rule out anything. No, not there.
Shit, if we need it, we need it. And I mean, we're America, so if we need it, we'll take it. I mean, I didn't care about Obama when he went and bombed Sudan back into slavery to get oil, to get cheap oil prices. Y'all ain't give a damn then. And I'm not saying that we should do that. Hell nah. But hey, if we need it, I mean, we can take it, but we are trying to work something out with them. I mean, we're trying the nice guy way. Okay, guys? Like, can we get our kudos for being nice about it? But no, you guys want to talk about you're not taking military force off the table. Of course not, because if China or Russia try to take that bitch, then you damn right we're going to put boots on the ground.
We need Greenland very badly. Greenland is a very small amount of people, which we'll take care of and we'll cherish them and all of that. But we need that for international security. Do you know we have Russia?
And shout out to my man Dave. He said, man, this bitch is annoying. Man. And shout out to the supporters, man. I appreciate y'all. Dave, James, Fox Chase, Castro, man, even the ladies like Michelle and Culture. Appreciate the support, guys. And ladies, of course.
Russian boats, and we have Chinese boats, gunships all over the place, aircraft carriers, gunships, going up and down the coast of Greenland. We need that to be protected. Internationally, we need it.
So you are willing to send U.S. troops to claim a sovereign territory?
I didn't say that. You asked me a question. Would you? Is there a circumstance? It could happen. I doubt it will, but it certainly could happen with respect to Greenland.
Okay, let me ask you about Iran. Your administration has had conversations with Iran. Is the goal of these talks limiting Iran's nuclear program or total dismantlement?
Total dismantlement.
That's all you'll accept.
That's all I'd accept. Now, there's a new theory going out there that Iran would be allowed to have civilian, meaning to make electricity. But I say, they have so much oil. What do they need it for? But, I've seen it with other states where they're looking to do something and they have a lot of oil. Iran has tremendous energy. I put sanctions, if you know that. I put pretty strong sanctions on 2 days ago on the oil. The sad part is that if Biden didn't get involved, if we had a competent president, you would have never had the attack on Israel. October 7th would have never taken place. Hamas.
I don't know about that one. Now, if you want to talk about Biden and Ukraine and how he could have stopped that, for sure. But Biden administration wanted to fight with Russia. They wanted the whole thing to go down with Ukraine and Russia because, they see how they can profit off it. Now, in terms of Israel and Hamas, I mean, that's history. That's a little bit more history involved, to be honest with you, because the Ukraine conflict that could start all the way, like, honestly, in the Obama years, and then you could even take it back to the Bill Clinton years in terms of the warning of never letting Ukraine into NATO. It's like through 3 administrations we've warned that cannot be a possibility. Now with Israel and Hamas, yeah, that's just the history of the Israelis and the Palestinian people finally boiling over and blowing up in our face, which turns into October 7th.
Would have had no money because Iran was broke. And now in a period of 4 years during the Biden administration, they became very rich. They have over $300 billion cash in the bank. And they had no money. They were ready to make a deal with me. And it's very sad. Because of this rigged election, they didn't do it. Just another thing you can mark down to a bad election.
It's interesting what you're saying, though, because Secretary Rubio has said that he would accept, or the idea is there is an openness to accepting peaceful civil nuclear program.
Well, that's what people, I didn't say anything contradictory. I said that people are talking about that. And this is something that's really pretty new in the dialogue.
All right, hold on, man. Since y'all saying I'm ignoring messages. All right, shout out James Foley. He says, who won S.E.T? I cannot tell you that one, James. You're going to have to actually run that actual AI race for me. And let me know who won. Send a video. And shout out to Dave. He says, this bitch is so annoying. And I already know. I thought I read that one, though. My bad.
And I'd have to be, my inclination is to say, what do you need that for? You have a lot of oil.
So you want total dismantlement, bottom line. I
think that I would be open to hearing it. Civilian energy, it's called. But, civilian energy often leads to military wars. And we don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple deal. I want Iran to be really successful, really great, really fantastic. The only thing they can't have is a nuclear weapon. Okay. If they want to be successful, that's okay. I want them to be so successful. And, the Iranian people are incredible. I just don't want them to have a nuclear weapon because the world will be destroyed.
Just to recap, we're talking about your desire to claim Canada, Greenland. What do you say to people?
You forgot the Panama Canal.
Panama Canal. What do you say to people who say they voted for you because they wanted you to end foreign conflicts, not start new?
I don't see that as conflict. I think that's good for our country, those things. Look, the Panama Canal was taken over by China effectively. Now China seems to have left, but the Panama Canal, think of this deal. We built the most expensive object we've ever built in the history of our country. That was Mount McKinley. They just took away, I just gave them back the name, but McKinley made the money. Teddy Roosevelt spent the money. McKinley gets very little credit, but he made, how he made the money? Through tariffs. He was the big tariff president. Okay, but forget that. We built the Panama Canal. It was the most expensive thing. It would be the equivalent, like almost $2 trillion today. We've never spent there. And it was very successful. And Jimmy Carter gave it away for $1.
Panama insists. Panama says they do control the canal, but we have a couple more questions left, and
Panama said what?
Little wrap.
Panama said what?
Panama says they still control it. I know you're saying China. Panama says they still control it.
If you would have gone there about 5.2 months ago, every single sign on the Panama Canal, with the exception of about 15% of them, was in Chinese.
Let me ask you, because we're nearing the end, just a couple more questions here.
I'm not complaining. You keep saying to me like I'm rushing.
No, you're not. And I really appreciate it.
I don't want to
really
rush you. I don't want to make you nervous.
Thank you. The Trump organization is selling hats that say Trump 2028.
Yeah.
Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr.
No,
President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it.
Mhm.
I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have 4 great years and turn it over to somebody, ideally a great Republican, to carry it forward. But I think we're going to have 4 years, and I think 4 years is plenty of time to do something really spectacular.
The Constitution does prohibit it. Some of your allies are pretty serious about this, though, Mr. President. I've spoken to them.
And here's the thing, though, like what a lot of Dems don't understand. Now, this whole third term, first off, Trump already said it don't sound like Trump even wants to run for a third term because even he understands that he's getting up there in age. So, but let's be real. A third term would all be performance based. We'd have to be 3 years in, see how good he's did. And then during that last year, we'd make that decision like, all right, do we want to run him for a third term? Do we want to amend an amendment and take off term limits? You know, it'd be something that, you know, we'd have to see off his performance if that's what people truly want. Like if the American people truly still want to stop having term limits, because let's be honest. And if we can be honest here, then we can understand that our enemies use our term limits against us. Why? Because they're willing to sit there, wait out a policy that doesn't, benefit them until a new president comes in and take it off. So there's been times that, yes, our term limits have hurt us because we haven't let, a certain type of leadership, I guess, take its roots, honestly, before we let a new leadership come through, uproot everything and start their own little thing. It's like, yeah. And I'll be honest, I believe a lot of countries, the dictators as well, have used our term system against us. Mao's done it. Putin's done it. I mean, shit, Xi's done it. Like all the guys that we don't agree with kind of understand the weakness of our term limits and our elections, because these guys, I guess, allegedly find a way to interfere in those. But yeah, they found our weakness in that. And I'm not saying I'm against it, but I do see the argument to low-key take them off, seeing that our enemies are kind of basking in joy every 4 years.
They say they are coming up with potential ways.
Well,
obviously, the biggest one would be a constitutional amendment.
That's because they like the job I'm doing, and it's a compliment. It's really a great compliment.
Has anyone approached you, though, with an actual plan, a way to actually start the process?
Well, there are
of
ways of doing it.
amendment?
There are ways of doing it, and you know the same thing. And if you look at the vice presidential thing, and you hear different concepts and different other people say you can have a write-in vote. There's lots of different things. With all of that being said, I want to be a great president. I will have served. Hopefully, everything will go well. I feel very good. I just did a physical. I took, unlike all other presidents, I took cognitive tests and I aced it. I got 100% correct. And one doctor said, there were numerous doctors watching. And he said, I've never seen that before. Biden didn't take a cognitive. He couldn't have gotten the first question right. But I came out great with the physical, both physically and mentally. And I just want to serve, do a great job. I'll be an 8-year president. I'll be a 2-term president. I always thought that was very important, to be honest with you. You know, if you look at President Polk, he was a 1-termer and he did some great things, actually. A pretty good president. And I'm not saying you can't do that, but there's something about being a 2-term president that was very important to me.
And just to put a button on it, has anyone in an official capacity presented you with, sir, here are some ideas by which you could actually get a constitutional amendment?
Well, in a capacity of being a big supporter, many people have said different things, but I'm not looking at that.
You haven't had official meetings about it?
No. And just so you said, 4 years is a long time. I have almost 4 years. All of these things that we've done more than any president, and even you might admit that. Nobody's done the extent of the things that we've done. Nobody's done this in essentially a little bit more than 3 months. As they say, 100 days. I'm looking to do a great job as president and set the country on the right track, because If I didn't win, this country would have failed. We would have been a failed nation.
You have built a political movement that has transformed the Republican
Greatest in
Party.
history.
It's transformed the country,
The
quite
greatest
frankly.
political movement in history, MAGA.
When
Make
you
America great again.
when you look to the future,
It made the Republican Party for the workers. That's exactly what MAGA did. It took all the it gave all those establishment Republicans no voice. No voice. If you weren't speaking for the people, yeah, you had no voice in the Republican Party, and a lot of these guys then jumped over into the Democratic Party. So yeah, we kind of kicked the I'll say with this. We took the guys who mainly spoke for the establishment and the warmongers. Yeah, we took those guys and we kind of took their voice away from them, and we kind of gave it to Trump. We gave it to all the guys who are on Trump's side, who are pro-MAGA. And that's honestly a beautiful thing because, I mean, we took it away from the warmongers, and now they jumped onto the Democratic side, and they don't even notice. But y'all notice soon enough, trust me.
Mr. President, do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you?
I think it's so strong, and I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We talked about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at J.D. Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just sitting here. No, I think we have a tremendous party. And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray.
Honestly, I mean, if I would name a Democrat that I would, I guess, slightly see as a threat to, anybody in the Republican Party, it'd be Cenk. But Cenk continuously takes the coward position, and he'd rather, start a rebellion pack instead of just, bro, just try to become president. Put yourself out there. Like, what are you afraid of? I mean, why not let it be you? It is a bit weird how he's just kind of hiding behind certain figureheads when it's his idea, how he wants things to run. So he should be the one championing it. And I would get behind Cenk if he did that. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I'm rocking with it. I like your idea. I'm not voting for you, but I will tell Dems that I ain't gonna lie. You got a reasonable candidate this time. And shout out Michelle Glass. She's like, gotta put the executive order into law. That's how Trump voice lives on. Exactly. Yeah, pulling these policy changes into law.
Hey, they have a new person named
no males, no men in women's sports. Like, it's a little bit shocking that we got to put that into law, but I mean, here we are. Who'd have knew? Who'd have knew we'd ever got this crazy as a society? We let a bunch of crazy ass psychologists take over.
Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do. And I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good.
Oh, and another thing, another executive order they should sign in is unleashing American energy. Bro, no president should ever have the power again to put a cap on American energy. Never.
To have a two-party. It's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And
yeah,
Biden is the worst thing.
I mean, here's the thing. They're champion behind Bernie. Once Biden came out, because like I say, they were calling us ageist, right? They're saying, oh, you don't think that old people could do anything? You're an ageist. And I'm like, damn, I never heard of that until Biden. So as soon as Biden's out the race, the same guys that were calling us ageist were pretty much now saying that Trump is too old. Yeah, Trump is too old. He's an old ass guy. What is he even saying? But then these are the same guys that are still Bernie bros. It's like, bro, you guys are so hypocritical, you don't even see it. It's like I said, sit down. Or maybe there's some of you guys who aren't as hypocritical, and you'll even say, yeah, Bernie's too old too. Well, you got to look around at your Democratic brethren and pull them to the side and be like, bro, look, Bernie's too old. We just got done through an entire election where we had a president that was too old. We tried to flip the scripts on the Republicans and call their president old. And now we're out here trying to champion Bernie Sanders. Dog, do we hear ourselves? Like, Dems, do y'all hear yourselves?
That ever happened to old people, because he was grossly incompetent. And I think maybe for artificial reasons, he had operations and things. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp, and they're older than 87. But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp. He's sharp as he's the same guy he was. He hasn't gone down. But Biden is really, he's the...
Nah. Bernie's declining. I've seen some very slow moments in Bernie's campaign. Well, I forgot what interview it was, but he was on an interview, right? And the guy asked him a question about AOC, and he got up pretty much like, "Oh, you want to talk about games? Or are we here to be serious?" And he got up, and then he asked the guy, "Well, what was your question?" And I was like, "Bernie, you got up because of his question, and you don't remember his question? I mean, like, dog, you're turning into an angry, forgetful old man right before our eyes." But this is what the left is championing on. It's like, I'm sorry, but the Dems, you need to leave old ass guys and black. Well, I'm gonna be real with you. And honestly, y'all just need to get you just a regular white guy or a regular woman, okay? Or a white woman, because y'all have already tried the women of color route. You've already tried the old white man route. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. I thought like John McCain and Sarah Palin was the test subject already for that, and that failed. And then here y'all go trying to pick it back up twice.
Worst thing to happen to old people.
I know that you are only 100 days in, but as we sit here today, who do you see as your successor, Mr. President?
Well, it's far too early to say that, but I do have a vice president, and typically it would be, and JD's doing a fantastic job.
He would be at the top of the list?
It could very well be. I don't want to get involved in that. I think he's a fantastic, brilliant